Today we will be doing some more Modern Masters. Not Modern Masters, we'll be Modern Affinity. We're going to be doing Modern Affinity. We made a couple small changes to the deck, closer to the deck list we think we want to be testing. Now, Brad's paper deck is a little bit different, but having the online client to test different things and figure out if he likes them for bigger paper tournaments is a big deal, and we'll be hooking this to a Modern Daily event very soon, I think. Hopefully, we're shooting for the weekend.
Not this weekend.
Not this weekend? What's happening this weekend? You're at
GP.
You're doing a GP. Yep. Forgot about that. After
Charlotte.
the GP. Yeah. It's this person, Charlotte, we know. She's running the GP herself, right?
That's what I heard.
Alright, so let's drag this over so you guys can see everything. We've got the Master of Ethereum, which we're having one on the board, one main. We have the 4th Etch Champion. It's just so good in some matchups. It might be correct to be playing 2 main board, 1 sideboard, or 2 main board, 2 sideboard, but right now we're in the 3-1 plan. The 3 Thoughtseize, which might be 4, we're not sure.
Actually, I think it might be 2.
2 Thoughtseize? You
Yeah.
think you would rather have less than more?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. I've looked at a lot of deck lists recently, and I can see why they would run 2 Thoughtseize and some other random cards just to have a variety.
2 Thoughtseize and like a Inquisition of Kozilek or something?
No, I don't remember what they... I think they substituted it for good stuff for other matches, actually.
Yeah, I like the 3. It gives you consistency in seeing the card, but if you really want to see it in your opening hand with a card like Thoughtseize, I like the 4. It just depends how many matches Thoughtseize is good in. And, I mean, the good news about Thoughtseize is it's good against all the combo decks pretty much, and it's good against some amount of control decks. So it has a high percentage that it's good against. The problem is if you're only expecting to see some Tron and some Twin, you might be better served playing cards like Wear and Tear that have value against a different deck, and that figuring out your sideboard configuration can be tough. We're still on the fence of Tezzeret. I think it's closer to out than in.
Yeah, I really like the Spellscott's main, but I don't think it's right to do the Spellscott's main.
So we can we'll flip-flop back and forth on that.
So tonight we're going to try them in the sideboard.
Yeah, we have the relics, which we're using for now. Later that might be just one of...
It might be 1 relic, 1 rest in peace, or 1 relic and...
it might just be
a
one...
Torpor, maybe?
It might be Torpor, rest in peace. I like that as well.
That's pretty good.
That's
what I was doing in the tournament.
Yeah, we eventually wanted to go to Doubles Dragon's Claw. It feels like it's a big thing. We feel like Mono Red would represent enough of the field, and possibly online we could have something like 3 or 4, but that's because online the likelihood of playing burn decks in tournaments is like twice of what it is in Paper Magic, so committing that many slots isn't that bad. I mean, like if you knew
I played burn twice all weekend.
Right. If you knew you were going to play burn in half the matches you played, it wouldn't be unreasonable to have 4 slots to it. The downside there is that Dragon's Claw's only decent against them because they have so much artifact removal. I would actually consider looking at well, there's not really... Enchantment Removal's not that much better either because they pull in Destructive Revelries. Anyway, let's look at the main board a little bit, and then... Hey, Inkmoth Nexus, you go over here.
Alright.
So...
Pretty standard sideboard. Or pretty standard main board. I'm thinking about moving up to 3 Still Overseers in the main.
So, changes that...
Cutting an Etch Champion.
Cutting an Edge Champion. We're still figuring out if we want the Ensouls or the Thoughtcast. I think those are the spots we're at. And
I think I do want the Thoughtcast. I was playing Blood Moons in the sideboard this last time, and they were not very useful. So I think I'd just rather draw more cards to try to race the decks that I would normally Blood Moon to slow down.
Right. We're planning to move to 4 Ornithopters and either 2 or 3 Memnites. And Welding Jar will either be in the sideboard
or cut completely.
And
it might make the main board. It really depends. I've also heard of people using that new artifact that's like 1 to play and 1 to equip if it's to an artifact.
Ghost Fireblade.
+2/+2? Yeah.
It can be powerful. The good news about that card is that it has a lot of strength with cards like your Signal Pest and Vault Scourge in more fair matches. The fairer the match, because it's essentially 1 to play, 1 to equip to a colorless creature, and it gives +2/+2.
Yeah, the only problem with that is it only brings like 1 creature out of lightning bolt range. So,
right, it doesn't do a lot for the lightning bolts.
It just brings Ornithopter out of lightning bolt range.
Yeah.
So
the other nice part to it is that it allows you to fight against things like Delver of Secrets. All of a sudden, your Signal Pest now kills an unflipped Delver of Secrets. They can't.
That's true, and trades with flipped one, so.
Yeah, it lets you put in a position of applying pressure to people with creatures. It can make a big difference in a Tarmogoyf match before things really slow down. The Tarmogoyf at many times is not bigger than a 3. It has to be a 3/4 to be at that point.
Usually you're not fighting a Tarmogoyf. They're attacking you on the ground, you're attacking them in the air. So, I don't think I blocked a Tarmogoyf in any match I won. So.
Oh, it's not about blocking it. It's about being able to swing through a Tarmogoyf.
Oh, you're not playing on the ground. You're not swinging on the ground usually.
What about these sweet Memnites?
Yeah, they're usually useless. You sign them out.
Usually.
All right. Yeah, so in the first game, if you're trying to swing through a Tarmogoyf, you're not winning.
Yeah.
So.
But excitingly, with the increased creature count of either one more 0 drop or something else, the Steel Overseer becomes better.
Yep.
We're not sure if we're going to be at. I think we're going to be at 2H champion and Master of Ethereum.
Probably. I do like the 3H champions, but I guess the third one in the sideboard's probably good enough. Right now, since we don't have the other Overseer, we're just going to run it as is.
Alright, we're going to go find a match.
Don't know if I like the Galvanic Blast or not. They did, win a lot of games, but those games would have probably just been won the next round. So
It's hard to say.
Just opened 2 games at once.
Oh man, we are not multi-queuing because I'm not good enough to do that. Oh, we're playing against Il Rosso, and that guy's Tezzeret. So let's go ahead and go first. This looks like a great hand.
It's an okay hand. It's not a great hand.
Yeah.
You'll probably want to play the Citadel first.
Citadel into Vault Scourge.
Your draw may change your mind.
Citadel. Alright, and then turn 2 we're going to drop with Steel Overseer.
That's what I would do.
And then turn 3 we're going to Arc Ravager, hopefully draw another mana, and then activate the Blinkmoth Nexus, activate the Steel Overseer.
Yep, that seems fun.
Alright.
I would play the Overseer.
Oh, we should play that after we attacked.
Yeah, you should have played that after your attack. It's actually pretty important that you play it after you attack in this match. Because you want them to use it on that Vault Scourge.
I want them to use it on the Vault Scourge quite a bit. A bolt there. Alright, so they're not playing blue-red, they're playing some kind of stompy, maybe. We'll see. With that being the case, I'm actually not going to activate my land. Alright, if I activate
I would play the Signal Quest and play the Arcbound Ravager and then activate the Steel Overseer.
Alright, well I'm going to play the Arcbound Ravager first. Alright.
A little surprised that didn't draw death.
It probably means they don't have death. Let's go ahead and activate the Steel Overseer now.
Yep.
Okay, I do not think my opponent has death. Interestingly, we do not have colored mana, and we have 2 colored spells. That is one of the weaknesses, I think, of our list, is the amount of colored spells we run in compared to other...
yeah, that's one reason I might cut the Galvanic Blasts.
Yeah. Oh, we're playing against combo. Well, we don't have very long.
Interesting.
They could clear our board this turn. Except Arcbound Ravager stops that from being easy. Now, an interesting thing here is some of these... He's going off this turn. Some of these matches, some of these decks run Dismember, and being able to Dismember the Arcbound Ravager sets us back significantly. Alright, our opponent is willing to die.
Well, there's one way they can possibly win, and that's by casting Living End.
I can sacrifice everything to Arcbound Ravager.
Yep, that's why you won.
Alright, so we're playing against Living End variant.
That's pretty cool. You probably want to pull in both relics. You could tear their hand apart. Its champion's not actually very good in this matchup.
Doesn't it swing through their creatures?
Yeah, but it also costs 3 mana.
Okay.
And you're bringing in the Masters, so you probably want to keep the same number of... I wouldn't take them all out. I would keep the same number of 3-drops. So I would take out the
Welding
Jar because it's useless. That seems fine.
Alright. Yeah. I'm wondering if we want to pull in another Edge Champion and drop a Mim Knight.
Yeah, go for it.
That's a lot of 3 drops, though.
It's not terrible.
I don't know. I feel like it's
I would keep the Edge Champion, actually. Don't you have the same number of 3 drops as you start with if you pull in one more?
Yeah.
Because you took out one Edge Champion and replaced it with a Master. That seems fine.
Before I pulled out. Yeah, that's you swap one up essentially. So it's fine.
It's not a super fast hand.
No, but
I actually wouldn't keep this.
I would. The relic means that he can't cycle 1 card a turn and get ahead.
That's true.
He has to cycle multiple cards, and that doesn't even represent anything. He has to cycle 1 or more cards every turn, and then if he ever does get to position where he gets ahead, then Alright. So my opponent is in a position. Now this turn they can activate and sacrifice. The fetch lands provide a lot of value for that. Oh, he's going to save up a lot of things at the same time. He knows how to play around a relic. Alright, so I think it's just
Ravager Ornithopter.
Ravager Ornithopter. We'll just activate this whenever he puts a thing in this. He's always going to make the correct decision. He's going to go ahead and cycle. He's going to try to cycle 2 things to get some sort of board state. He's going to try to beat me with a single 3/4? Okay, never mind. Here we go.
You obviously don't know how that deck works.
I do. I just didn't expect him to have multiple Street Wraiths. He only had 1 mana available, but the 2 Street Wraiths makes a big difference. Fortunately, I think Etched Champion will help quite a bit here.
If we don't die to this land drop, which we're not going to because we can sack everything to the Ravager.
Yeah, I'll sacrifice both of these lands to the Ravager. Play our Glimmer Void, and we'll have an Etched Champion and these 3 guys out.
Don't tap out again.
No, leave it open so I can use Ikamoth Nexus and put it on that. Well, he can just...
No. Leave mana open for Relic.
Oh, yeah, well, he's going off this turn. So go ahead and sacrifice in response. No, just wait for him to cast it first. Okay.
Alright, so now sack in response. Sack, click, not the Ravager. No, you have to click sack and then click. Yeah, there you go. And now sack the Ravager to himself. What are you doing? What are you doing?
He's doing 3 damage to Ornithopter.
Oh, okay. So we shouldn't have tapped out to play the Ravager. Should have kept mana up for the Relic.
Alright, I don't think he's going to do that again, so I'm going to go ahead and play that Champion.
That's fine.
Opponent.
Alright, so in the future we need to not tap out when we have Relic.
Not before they've cast the Living End. Whoa! This is exciting. Wow, that's brutal. And it has split second, so I can't respond.
Okay. Alright, so now he still triggers and does what you want him to do.
That doesn't matter. My 3/3 dies just 3/4.
Not with 2 counters, it doesn't.
Why does it have 2 counters? It has.
Because the Ravager still died.
Oh, it had 2 counters on it from before. Why is the counters not going on this? Okay.
Yeah.
Bad math on my part.
Yeah. Alright, play the Glimmerboard, play the Ornithopter.
With Thoughtcast?
Thoughtcast.
Actually. Arcbound Ravager and then Thoughtcast.
Okay, yeah, as long as you leave the 1 mana open. Alright. Can't play anything else.
Yep, I think I just wait a turn.
Yep, pass turn.
Yeah, my opponent has to resolve another one to win. Actually, if he tried to resolve another one, I would let him resolve it. He would get a Street Wraith, and I would get multiple creatures.
No, you would suck everything to the Ravager and then let it resolve.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Because I get 2 creatures back there. Here, you go ahead and sack them.
So, does that exile both graveyards when you pop the relic?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Slow.
Alright, begin combat. Oh, we have people talking. Hello.
Don't see anything but trolling.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go ahead and kill the Street Wraith. And take 3 and go to 11.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Now, put the cranial plating on the Ornithopter.
Yeah.
Nope. Tap the ink block. Always leave your colored mana open. It represents more.
It's true. Yeah, I was worried about the Glimmer of War dying, but there's no way he can get rid of all these artifacts.
Even if he does, you can activate the Glimmerboard for mana before it dies. Since it doesn't change the clock. Wait, just attack full out. Yeah, that does change the clock.
He dies.
If he doesn't have something.
And if he has something, we sacrifice everything to Arcbound Ravager. Oh, that's interesting.
Nice.
He still dies. Because the mat, the trigger. But he was hoping we didn't pop it in response. But there's no reason to wait. He doesn't have, like,
He
3
literally
Simeon
can't-
Spirit Guides and a Metamorphose. So there's not any outs.
Yep, that was fun.
Alright,
host
I'm
a
gonna
new
have,
match.
have Brad take over. Piloting us through that match. Change places.
Alright, we've got a very good hand. So we'll keep. Would you look at cat?
Brad wanted me to summon you?
He's tanking real hard. Whenever you cast a spell that targets this guy, put a 1/1 counter on it. Okay. Alright, so that was 6 cards. Pretty good. This guy feels like he's new to the client. I would have cast that on the Crusader instead of the Hoplite. But whatever. Well, that was a mistake. Should have attacked with the Signal Pest as well. So next turn will get interesting. So currently our clock is faster than his. On the next turn we'll animate this land, tap the Steel Overseer, attack with everything. He's having trouble clicking through some triggers. Showing 5 damage. Unwilling to attack with the 1/1s for fear I would trade, even though my creatures are better than his. Alright. I think we start with Glimmer Void. We turn Blink Moth into a creature. We move to attack step.
Crushing face.
So we're racing right now.
Playing against burn. Oh, against creature burn.
It's really weird. It's actually heroic.
Yeah. Creature or wide burn. I don't think that's particularly good.
Well,
deck,
he's
but
made some poor decisions. I forgot to attack with a Signal Pest one round, or he'd be at 18. But he didn't attack with the Crusader or the Haste creature.
He has priority. But he's probably lost just now. And the fact that you can Galvanic Blast anything good he plays.
So I'm thinking we should just kill the Crusader.
I would just wait for him to respond.
Respond to what?
Or I would wait for him to play something. He might play something bigger, and at this point, it doesn't matter if he.
He's not playing anything bigger. The only thing he plays is
You think?
the only stuff. Okay, I mean he might play the thing that gives him +3/+1. That would be great to respond to.
Yeah, I mean you're winning this race, and your creatures are big enough that he can't pump big enough to stop them.
Who cares if he stops him? The only one on the ground is this one.
Yeah.
I was actually hoping he would trade a creature with this guy.
If you're worried about your life total, you can always. I might actually end up killing the Foundry Street Denizen. Probably the Crowing Crusader is probably the most threatening creature.
I mean, if we're not about to die, I'm just gonna take it. Because we're representing 1, 2, 3, 4.
If he doesn't block next turn, you can just kill him with Galvanic.
7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're sending death on next turn. So if he's not gonna kill us, we're gonna kill him.
I mean, decks like this where 5 creatures out and the ability to make more are decks that can represent quite a bit of damage. I'm not sure if 16 is quite enough, but if we were somewhere around like 12 or 10, I could see us just kind of dying. Sometimes these are these really crazy combo decks that don't have a lot of consistency, but do have a lot of volatile parts in them in Modern. There's in fact Cheerios. Cheerios is essentially a deck that runs 0-drops to abuse 0-drops in Legacy, and there's a Modern version that tries to do similar things, and it can kill you on turn 2. It's just unlikely to kill you on turn 2.
So we don't have to just respond to these, do we?
No, if you want, you can kill the 3, whatever, but I wouldn't. It just bumps power. He swings for 1, 4, 5, 6, 7.
+1 if he wants to fire me.
I would kill the Satyr Hoplite or Foundry Street Denizen on this attack. Because it probably buys you another turn.
We don't need another turn.
In case he blocks. How much damage do you do this turn? You don't do 12.
If he blocks...
He's probably going to block. Right? Because you're attacking with...
I'm not sure.
You're attacking with the 3/3 Memnite... I might just leave it back for blockers. Why is he not? He should be attacking with a Crowing Crusader.
He should be attacking with everything.
Yes.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Not enough.
I don't even think we Galvanic Blast at this point.
No. You should Galvanic Blast his face next turn after he blocks it correctly. If he responds with anything, maybe Galvanic Blast, but
I will.
I don't think he has anything. It is an interesting homebrew.
I'm not sure that's even a homebrew. I mean, this deck probably existed. Well, we definitely play the Ravager.
And then tap the Ravager with a Springleaf Drum. activate the Blinkmoth Nexus.
Nope.
You're gonna activate using the Glimmer Void.
Yeah.
So okay, the reason I would have activated the Arcbound Ravager is I would have sacrificed stuff to it to put lethal on my flying creatures, and then have access to Galvanic Blast.
You're still going to be able to do all that. So, you don't tap your creatures if you don't have to. You can always tap your creature later.
You can't tap the Arcbound Ravager because you sacrifice it before combat. You play
No,
Galvanic Blast
you
after.
tap the mana,
Okay.
Galvanic Blast, and then sack it.
Right, that's what I was saying, is that you want to play the Galvanic Blast post-combat.
Why would you want to do that? He'll be dead before combat ends.
1, 2...
Depending on his blocks is what I do.
Oh, yeah, I was just...
I mean, he'll be dead before the end of combat once he doesn't declare any blockers.
Yeah, I guess that works as well.
So my way, if combat goes sour, then I
Have
haven't tapped my creature.
You have an Arcbound
I can
Ravager.
use it to block and then tap my creature.
Yeah.
So he moves the blocks.
Yeah, and you're definitely right because you can do it before blocks. Like,
Do it
the
after
only
blocks,
way
actually.
it would matter is if he had things like lightning
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
bolt plus 4 on the Galvanic Blast, right?
Yeah, if he doesn't block.
Okay, well, what happens if he doesn't kill anything? What does that represent?
What if he doesn't kill anything? What do you mean?
Okay, so he doesn't kill anything. You can sacrifice the Memnite, 2 Springleaf Drums, and the Arcbound Ravager.
Well, the opal's definitely good.
And the Opal. And the Citadel.
Oh, so here's a spell. Lightning Bolt targeting
Still Overseer.
the Overseer.
Okay, so our opponent doesn't really know how to play that much.
So now we activate it in response.
And then sacrifice it to Ravager. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can
All
kill him
right,
right
so-
now. You can just kill him with the Blinkmoth Nexus.
Can I?
Yeah, you sacrifice everything to Ravager. I would do the 4 to him, but sacrifice everything to Ravager, put the Ravager tokens on one of the blockable creatures.
Now we have to click through the attack phase many, many times. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If he declares no blocks, he's dead. If he does declare blocks, we sack the Ravager.
We sacrifice the Memnite and the Ravager.
Oh, and the Mox Opal and the Springleaf Drums.
And the Darksteel Citadel. You just sacrifice everything, put it on a flyer.
So does this mean he's declared no blocks?
That is what it means.
Okay, so I just let him take the damage then. Right?
Yeah. Alright, and there you go. You
And
activate Galvanic Blast.
then Galvanic Blast to your face. Tapping this for red and tapping this guy.
Yeah, one of the things about playing any Magic is you're going to play against less than great opponents on occasion.
Well, it's not many people play against Affinity lately. So I have to give him the benefit of the doubt. Spell Scots? Probably not.
He went to the play lobby. He probably. The other problem with it is just the poor blocks. Our opponent could read the damage. There was
Click
lethal.
play lobby. It did not do that.
We're still in a 1-on-1 match? We'll see.
I'm not sure.
Well, we'll find out in a minute or two. We can host another game. But that opponent didn't seem to know. He didn't know he had the Galvanic Blast.
Well,
He was dead no matter what, though.
but he didn't target the right thing with the lightning bolt.
Right. He should have targeted one of our flying creatures, but in response, we still would have done the same thing. There was no real... He was dead on board. He should have used that lightning bolt earlier.
Well, after the lightning bolt didn't work, he could have also blocked. And
Okay, so this is an
not.
interesting hand. Would you keep this hand? It has a lot of tools, but it's slow. It has a lot of inevitability, which is unusual for the hand, but there's no aggression, there's no speed in it.
If there were a creature to go with a Still Overseer, maybe, but I wouldn't keep this in a tournament.
It's much better.
This, however, is a decent hand.
We got turn 1 Metalcraft, Springleaf Drum, and if you draw something, okay, we'll play Tron.
Nice.
Probably playing green-red Tron. All right.
Alright. Play this guy. Play this guy. Play this guy.
So you got 3, so we can tap.
No. Well,
Tap Springleaf Drum.
normally,
And then play Cranium Plating.
you'd rather have the Ravager, but yeah, this is fine.
We don't have a Ravager.
Yeah. If we had a Ravager, this would be an amazing hand.
If we had a Steel Overseer,
Six.
or we had a couple other things, but yeah, still not a bad hand. Next turn we have an Etch Champion, and well, we don't have an equipped Memnite if we do that.
Yeah, we should definitely just equip the Midnight and attack.
Nope, we have both. Because you can tap the Ornithopter with the Springleaf Drum.
Yep. So doesn't really matter which we do first.
Now we are very weak to a Pyroclasm here. We'll keep that Champion and the Cranial Plating, so it won't be the end of the world. Actually, we didn't need the Ornithopter. We could have made that play either way. Alright, let's attack for 8.
Yes. I agree with that statement. Let's attack for 8, Daniel.
Attacking for 8 on turn 2 is always
I don't know
nice.
if you just like the sound of your voice or if you're doing it for the audience, but it's really funny to me.
It's a little bit of both. A little bit of both.
So he revealed Urza's Tower, so he has the Urzatron.
This is one of the positions I like because
And 7 mana, that represents
he could play a Karn, but even a Karn won't save him.
a Chromatic Star. Woo!
Alright, so he has 6 mana. Now, the Worm will get him pretty far here. Worm is one of the better cards. I think our response to a Worm would be playing the Blinkmoth Nexus and swinging over the top. To activate the Blinkmoth Nexus or to put it on.
Yeah, I mean, we'd put it on an Ornithopter, but we'd swing the Blinkmoth as well. Because why not?
Right, and next turn we're probably activating the Inkmoth Nexus anyway. Then.
Redland? Aya Ergen. Okay.
Ayavugan, they're trying to just get out the stuff they need.
Hey, look at Inkmoth.
So
We don't have one of those cast.
let's activate the Blinkmoth to attacks with, activate the Inkmoth for artifact count, and I think swing for lethal.
I believe you are correct.
Swinging for lethal. Feels good on
9, 10, 11, 12. So now we go to declare attacks, and then we activate it if we need to.
Yep. Feels bad to die on turn 3.
Actually, we should... Nope, we can't do that. Normally, we would move the Cranial Plating to the Ornithopter just in case. No red mana, doesn't matter. And we don't have enough mana, so... Attack with all creatures.
We have enough.
Pull this guy back. If we click this over here, I'm attacking with it, and then we don't have enough mana to activate. Oh yeah, we could use it to activate itself. So we
Yeah.
could actually do that.
Doesn't matter though. There's nothing colorless that will save them. Our opponent, however, cursed their bad luck for dying on turn 3. Should have played a sweet spell on turn 3, Tron. Jeez, letting your namesake down. Had Tron, didn't win the
9,
game.
10, 11, 12.
Yep, that's it.
Death.
Exacxies. Alright, I think this is one of the matches where we bring in Thoughtseize, we bring in Master of Ethereum, and
Thoughtseize, Master of
I
Ethereum.
think this is a matchup where we pull out Welding Jar, and I think we pull out...
I wonder if Tezzret's good against them. It probably is.
Yeah, we can try Tezzeret here and pull out the Galvanic Blasts.
Actually, the Insouls probably aren't very good either.
Alright.
Let's go ahead and pull out the 3 Galvanics.
And an Insult. The fact that an Insult isn't larger than the
Actually,
the Worm is a big deal. I would rather not have the Insults. They're not ever more relevant than the Worm. All of his big cards stop an Insult. Insult's only good when it goes uncontested, which is the same reason we're dropping the Galvanics.
Seems fine.
So we have a lot of sideboard cards in this match, which is one of the downsides, is this deck's highly synergistic, and getting too many sideboard cards is a bad hand. This is an okay hand.
Not really very many fast plays. We can second turn in Soul, which or second turn Ravager. Those are both fine.
I would second turn Ensoul.
So
And the fact is, we can follow turn 3 up with a Master of Ethereum or an Arcbound Ravager.
if we get another mana, yeah.
Well, we have 3
It's your
turns.
turn.
We're still decently likely.
I'd probably play the Ink Moth first, and this guy.
Yep, no reason to let our opponent know we have blue mana. Or access to that, for whatever they think that means.
F6. Urza's mine, Urza's power plant, probably going to get Urza's tower.
They've had good draws. I mean, the Tron deck is a fearsome deck when you consistently have
Ooh,
it.
a Glimmer Void, how nice.
Alright, let's Ensoul and put their Pyroclasm to shame. And that'll...
Move to attacks.
Alright, put them on a 4-turn clock. Just with that. And the answers they have to that are specifically just Karn. I mean, technically, they probably boarded out.
I don't know what else they play.
They probably play a Karn and...
Oh, look, they went and got a tower. Who would have thunk it?
What's the new Planeswalker they laid? Cost 8. It's good.
Oh, him? Useless except
Ugin.
against Ensoul.
Ugin is not... Yeah. Ugin doesn't do anything, so they probably boarded that out. They have Ugin.
Ugin doesn't do much against us. It doesn't do nothing.
Yeah, the 3 damage is
So.
okay.
So I think next turn, play the Ethereum. That'll put our artifact count at 2, which is pretty low. Oh, look, Wormcoil Engine.
Play the Arcbound Ravager because we can sacrifice it in response to his lifelink cannon. We can sacrifice whatever we block with in response, and he doesn't gain life.
So we're going to be sacrificing the Ravager?
No, we're going to play the Ravager. We're going to block with Inkmoth and activate. We won't have enough to block and activate with it, so we will have to sacrifice the Ravager.
So we just play the Ethereum then and not block for a turn?
No, because then he gains life.
Well, I don't think giving up a Ravager is the correct play.
It takes 6 life away from him.
It does take 6 life, but we're about to take 6 life away from him by playing the Master.
I guess it keeps him... I guess it gives us 1 turn. Yeah, I guess.
Because since we're not really going to want to block with a Ravager, we might as well just let him gain the 6 life. But take it away.
Yeah, I don't like how the Ravager's vulnerable to the Pyroclasm at this point, but I guess we don't really have an option.
Well, the Ravager's going to be vulnerable to Pyroclasm unless we draw some artifacts. And I'm not bothering to cast the Thought Cast for 4?
No,
3?
no. We're hoping to draw something like a Mox Opal here.
Sylvan Scrying.
Probably
that's
for
wonderful.
Iovugan. Although they can't play it this turn.
Urborg.
Interesting. Not sure what they need lots of black mana for. Probably not.
Pithing Needle targeting.
Inkmoth Nexus is the correct one. I would have taken out Pithing. Oh, Cranioplating is what they actually have it in for. Never mind.
Do they have to type a name of a card?
Yeah,
How does this work?
yeah. They type it in.
And it just like auto completes stuff for them.
You can. Yeah, you
Choosing Inkmoth Nexus. Okay.
Good play on their part. That's the right one. They're going to use Cranioplating.
Another one.
Cranioplating is what I would pick. Card most likely to kill you.
Ravager would be a good one, right?
Cranioplating is more threatening. Ravager. If we go all in on Ravager, they can answer that easily. Yeah.
So, does this not tap for mana anymore?
It does. It just stops activated abilities.
Okay, what's the one that stops it from tapping for mana?
Phyrexian, whatever.
Ah.
But go scroll over Pithing Needle just to make sure. In a second, I could be wrong.
Activated unless they're mana available.
Okay, so we can play Glimmer Void.
Glimmer Void.
Um,
Signal Pest.
and then Ravager,
Ravager.
and then Thoughtcast for 1.
Thoughtcast. Hey, Blue. Can't play either of those cards.
So we can tap
How
for
fun.
10.
So we're gonna block with Signal Pest, sack it to the Ravager.
Yep.
We're also going to attack for 10. F6. Don't F6. F2.
Yep. And next turn we have a Thoughtseize and a Thoughtcast available to us. And our opponent will probably have a hard time getting through this. I think we are actually going to be able to beat 2 turn 3 Urzatrons. Let's see what the Urborg is here for. I'm interested to find out. He's playing green-red, and he's playing an Urborg for some reason.
It's going to be good. Ancient Stirrings, okay.
My assumption is it would be something like some sort of giant black X card.
So you got 7, 8 mana.
Like a Drain Life or something.
There's not many things you can play for 8 mana.
You can play anything except for Ulamog for 8 mana.
I mean, not many things I care about. I mean,
Karn is the best one. I mean, that said, he has to Karn. Our opponent has a little bit of lag going on. Yeah. Yeah, for Ixalan Revoker is the one. Thank you, Lithurus. We're saying no problem, but we were thinking about saying mean things and blaming him for ruining our gaming experience.
I'll just stick to blaming Daniel for that.
We should have, instead of been Sunshine Dan, we should have been Brad Dan, because they're Carry Dan.
Must be a difficult decision.
Or they could be lagging. I really want to know what they're playing the black for, though.
A
Sanguinate or Drain Life could be an option, right? To gain a bunch of life, which makes sense, right? You can get out of this. They could tap the Yawgmoth and then the other 3 whatevers to produce enough mana to gain enough life to make a difference. That would be my first thought. My second thought is some sort of black win condition, like an Empty the Pit-esque card that's going to generate a lot of creatures.
Maybe. Only Empty the Pit is triple black.
It doesn't matter with Urborg.
Or no, quad black.
It doesn't matter with Urborg, though.
Yeah, but you want your Urzatron tapping for a lot of X.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. There's probably some other black card, like Army of the Damned.
Is there a way to see what he's seeing?
No, because he looks at 5 and he reveals 1.
Oh.
It'll tell us in the sides. Oh, they put Expedition Map in their hand. We're waiting for them to resolve something else.
Oh. So this is just lag, then?
This is just lag, yeah. So one thing I do want to point out is if you can afford it, you want to try to get a cohesive 1 version of the cards. And that's for information. This is such a little thing, but often online there's not a problem choosing which version you're getting. And when you have access to just 1 version, that means if we bounce or reveal or something happens, you can make the mistake of thinking the same art is the same one. Whereas if we see 2 different arts and you're observant, you can catch the difference. And the little minor things like that aren't necessarily of urgency, but top level players don't make those mistakes. They run.
Well, they get their cards for free, so.
Yeah, but even players online that don't get their cards for free. Okay, here we go. He's back. Carry Dan has returned to us. Brad, are you saying you don't get your cards for free?
Nope. Not a pro.
Okay, so it's double black. I think it's...
Random scrub.
Oh, it's not a Sanguinate.
You can have that Expedition Map.
It's not going to save you,
bro. It's all you. -4, it's split second. He's dead, Jim.
Sure. That lets him gain life, which is the important part. I think we put that on the Master of Ethereum. He's going to attack for 6 to gain 6 life.
I don't disagree with you. I still think it goes on the Ornithopter.
Oh, I was just thinking if he answered our...
Yes, I would like to use the Ravager's ability.
Yeah, I guess it's true. I mean, it makes it weaker to the Karn, but it makes it better against the stabilized Wormcoil engine. Alright, so now we just take it.
He might not attack with it.
He should attack with it.
He should.
Dying is the other option if he doesn't attack with it.
Oh, that's a good point.
Now,
he'll probably attack with it.
The option for 6, so that's 1...
7, 8, 9, 10, 11...
We have to
12,
do 11.
13.
We only have to do 11. So yeah, we don't block. I was thinking we can block because that lets us play Thoughtseize and have another turn, but I don't think we have to play Thoughtseize. He doesn't play instants except for the sudden death, which was, something.
So should we Thoughtseize him?
No, I think we should.
You don't think we should Thoughtseize him?
I think we should Thoughtcast first in case we have more artifacts we want to play to provide.
No, we definitely Thoughtseize.
You want to Thoughtseize him? There's
nothing. And the reason is
No, it's a good card to make him discard, but I don't think there's anything that matters.
if he had an instant in his hand, that's what mattered.
All right, let's play our...
So we just kill him right now. We don't have to do anything else, right?
7, 10,
7,
12.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm not going to bother casting anything else if I just kill him.
Yep. All right. Oh, was that match 2?
Yep, that was match 2.
Oh, God, that was brutal. So, yeah, we beat through Tron. Good draws on Tron, too. I mean, they could have only been better if they had a Planeswalker turn 3.
Well, they didn't play a red spell, which makes me think there's some weird version of Tron.
They might have been green-black. I don't know what you play for, though. Other
That's
than
what I'm saying. Green-black is not
The
a known
whole-
archetype.
The whole reason for playing...
Yeah, this is actually a great hand.
Yep.
So...
The whole reason for playing red in Tron is because of the power of Pyroclasm. That's the entire reason they played red. They, in fact, played...
Oh, look! Cards. A Thought Scour.
That doesn't matter. They're playing a Delver deck.
No, they're playing probably Grixis Delve, which is actually a horrible matchup for us, but we're about to put our hand on the table. So
Grixis Delve. In my paper play testing, I did very well against that. Maybe I just got lucky.
I think you got lucky.
Well, this game, we can play a turn 1 Springleaf Drum and Steel Overseer, so we might be okay.
Oh, yeah. They're going down.
Well, if they kill the, Steel Overseer, then all we have left is a Cranial Plating.
They're still going down. Next turn, play the Glimmer Void, click the Cranial Plating till it lives, possibly tap the Steel Overseer.
We should probably tap the Steel Overseer first and then click. Or which way do you think it's better to do?
Why does it matter?
What you want him to kill.
Oh, well, he'll kill what we put the Cranial Plating on, which is why we should Steel Overseer first. You're correct. Because he might kill the Steel Overseer right now.
Which I think is the correct play. I would murder that as quickly as possible.
Knowing what he knows, he should kill that.
Alright, well now we just put it on the Ornithopter and attack with both. And we can play the Signal Pest, because we have enough mana.
Don't forget to put the weirdo.
Right.
Yay, cards. And that said, we are still weak to another removal spell. The Grixis Delver deck does run a lot of removal and a couple counter spells. But we're putting a decent amount of pressure on.
We could put it on the Memnite since he's tapped out.
Nah, let's just put it on the Ornithopter and swing with both.
Wow. That represents the same amount of damage, but...
Let's just put it on the Ornithopter and swing with just the Ornithopter. Because if he flips the Delver, it'll still trade. We don't want to trade our Memnite early. If he kills our Ornithopter, then we can put it on our Memnite.
Okay, I think my strategy is better because if he doesn't flip the Delver, he won't attack into the Ornithopter, but he might attack into the Memnite because we are not trading.
He'll just block the Memnite. He'll trade one of his cards that are not a removal spell. For one
Oh, yeah, he will block the Memnite. I forget that thing can actually block because nobody ever does that.
He will definitely block. What is his power and toughness? Now, I would attack with the Memnite because I would be happy to not have to deal with a untapped Delver.
Oh, so you're saying go ahead and attack with him?
Yeah, attack with... He can trade a regular Memnite for a regular Delver. That's fine. We want to force him to trade a premium flipped Delver.
Oh, okay. I completely agree. I forgot they can block with the Memnite because no one ever does. Or with the Delver because no one ever does.
If that had a cranial plating, he should have blocked with the Delver. Would he have? Don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, Diago's friend, that definitely could have been Storm. My initial thought before Grixis was Storm, but it's the Grixis
Turn 1 Thought Scour is usually not Storm, though?
The Storm deck, the one that plays the Pyromancer's Ascension that's based off the graveyard.
Plays that as well? Okay, didn't encounter that.
So we just play Whip Flares, and that's it. Whip Flares and Master Everything. Oh, Etch Champion, Spell Skites, Whip Flares are all good in this matchup, right?
Edge Champion is definitely good. Thoughtcast is definitely good. The Insouls are not
bad.
If he's playing the version that tries to combo kill us, Then Spell Scout's good. He's probably not playing that one though because they don't usually run Thought Scout.
All right. Would you rather have Whip Flares or Master of Ethereum? I think Whip Flare. It answers all of his. I think I'd rather have 2 Whip Flares, and so I think we take out 2 Galvanic Blasts, play 2 Whip Flares, and play a Master of Ethereum to have more threat density and cards that answer more of his cards. Then we take out 2 Galvanics because we do want the Welding Jar.
We do want the Welding Jar.
So now we don't have anything vulnerable to his stuff. We can 2-for-1 him easily, and we have creatures that are too large for him to answer.
I think we should probably take out the Masters because we probably have too many 3-drops. But we'll run it like this.
He's just going to kill our stuff, right? Like, it's not about being faster than him. It's about putting out answers that...
No. It's about being faster.
He can't answer a Cranial Plating, right? Like, that's a good answer.
He can after sideboarding.
He can't. Oh, right. He runs Vandal Blasts.
He runs Vandal Blast in the main. He runs straight Artifact Hate, I bet.
Vandal Blast is straight Artifact Hate. Kolaghan's Command is the card he runs 1 of main. Sometimes 2.
Oh, he probably runs a lot of Artifact Hate.
I think that's a bad play by him. I think his life is worth way more than tempo. He probably... Either that's a bad play, or he has a ton of removal. The good news for us is... That's an awesome hand.
Cranial Plating or Signal Pest and Vault Scourge?
Signal Pest and Vault Scourge, and next turn, if he taps out, you can play an equipped Cranial Plating.
Yes, but he runs the 1 mana counter target converted mana cost 2 spell. And he's tapped out right now. We could do it either way.
I think it's good with the Vault Scourge. The upside's a lot higher. We have other cards that he has to answer to. Just having multiple threats out at least represents quite a bit of damage. This also means that we're representing at least 2 life gain, and unless he bolts our... I would bolt the Vault Scourge, actually. But if
he kill the Signal Pest. That's the correct play.
If you're racing, I think you kill the Vault Scourge. If you only have 1 removal spell. This deck tends to have...
If you only have 1 removal spell, you kill the Signal Pest, I think.
Because it allows you to not
live
have to
longer?
race so much. Yeah. The worst thing is he has Electrolyze. This deck runs Electrolyze sometimes.
He's not playing that this turn.
No. He's not playing anything too particularly spicy with black-blue.
Black-blue. There's several things he could have. He didn't natural flip the Delver. I did see that sometimes.
It happens frequently.
He should have swung. My creature's better than his.
Alright, so Cranial Plating equipped.
So... Yeah.
Or still Overseer.
No, Cranial Plating equip.
Alright, so equip it to the Vault Scourge. He could have a Dismember.
He could have the -1/-1 to target creature.
He could have Dark Blast, and he could have a Disfigure. That said, I would still equip to the Vault Scourge, and the upside is so high.
So now he has to answer a creature every turn.
Okay, well, let me just swing with all of them. I'm fine with him blocking a Memnite and trading off a Delver for the damage potential of what that represents. If he can answer the Vault Scourge, I would not block the Memnite. Okay, so he's just going to try to race 27 life. Our opponent just willingly is going to die. I guess they do play the Kolaghan's Commands. I mean, it doesn't
he just flipped 2 Delvers.
It doesn't matter. We're at 27.
What? They block this guy now.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I really, really hate having to click through these triggers.
It's his turn. I mean, sure, he can kill the Vault Scourge, but like, then we have
if we draw
Steel Overseer.
If we draw a source of black mana, then the one he doesn't block.
No, he blocks both of them.
He might not.
Oh, well, yeah, there's always a chance our opponent's bad, but we shouldn't make that.
Remand, enter the revealed card zone. Well, that pretty much means if he has it, he'll remand it.
Wow, he just lives dangerously.
Oh, he Gitaxian probed us.
Holy good moly. What does he have in his hand that makes him think that...
Lightning Bolt. Or, not Abrupt Decay, just destroy a creature. Terminate.
Well, still, just like... he's dead to his drawing a Black Source then, almost. I'm not necessarily dead, but he has to trade all of his good creatures. He doesn't have that many good creatures. Oh my god.
That is hardcore right there.
Well, now we're just a blank card away from... Well, I guess not winning. They can... let's play Max Opal and win the game.
Okay, we already have a Mox Opal, so that doesn't work.
Oh, yeah, god, that sucks. So, yeah, let's just play our Darksteel Citadel, swing out, let our opponent do whatever they're going to do, and then play a Steel Overseer. They have to answer all of our cards.
Yep. Concur.
We can put the vaults. We can put the cranial plating on the Signal Pest if you don't want him to
Take out the Vault Scourge?
kill the Signal Pest, bolt the Vault Scourge. But whatever.
That would have been a good idea.
Just attack with the Vault Scourge and just the Vault Scourge. No.
No, attack with everything.
No.
You have to put him on not having anything.
If we had put the equipment on the vault, the Signal Pest, then he has to kill everything.
That would have been better. Though he should have responded to my attack step and not let the Signal Pest activate.
Oh, he's going to block and kill the Signal Pest.
And he's going to take 2 damage instead of taking... None? I mean, he doesn't have us gain life this way.
Alright, EF did okay. He probably should just block the Memnite. As much as that's terrible for him.
Yep. He did have a Terminate, though.
He's being greedy. Our opponent is literally at 1.
He can't fetch now.
Alright, now we play Steel Overseer, and that's a very big issue for him. And then we just go ahead and equip Memnite with the cranial plating.
We should probably equip the Overseer, shouldn't we?
No. We equip the Memnite. He's going to want to naturally kill the Overseer. If he has any ways of gaining life. If he doesn't, every card of ours is lethal. He needs a 2-for-1. Dagos, I think that our opponent's just making very poor and awkward.
Fetching is overrated.
Fetching
I completely agree.
A lot better in his deck where he needs more than 3 mana and he has Delve spells. Fetching is one of the reasons that his deck has more power. In a deck like ours, we don't run fetch lands. First of all, we don't want them because of our mana base. But second of all, it wouldn't mean as much. The thinning aspect's not very important. But
Not sure why he kept this hand.
But once you can delve and use the delve as mana, then the fetch lands represent a lot more. Cool. Let's tap the Mox Opal and then if we want, play another Mox Opal.
We'll in fact draw 2 cards.
Would you like to remand that?
Please do.
Let's play
Why
a
not?
Mox Opal and play another Thoughtcast. We're going to go ahead and click the untap Mox Opal to keep it, because that's how the interface works for that. It's our favorite one. But yeah, drawing 4 cards will help us get out of this rut. I don't know if rut's the right word. We're a little ahead.
Man!
No, let's go ahead and just swing with both.
Wow.
Well, I
That's
guess we just
rough.
swing with the Memnite.
Yeah.
Because he can just block with the other one. So we swing with the Memnite. He either kills or blocks the Memnite. We unload our hand, tap the Steel Overseer. And then everything kills an Insectile Aberration. Snapcaster Mage.
Targeting Serum Visions?
I don't know. That's not a very good play. I would have just let Aberrations die.
Targeting... It doesn't matter because it doesn't get cast?
Yeah. I guess our opponent doesn't really know we have 3 creatures in hand, though, and he's thinking he can race us. Because he does have a 4-turn clock on us.
I don't like using the Snapcaster Mage there.
Not
Snapcaster Mage is better
Alright, let's go ahead
than
and play
the
all the
other 2
creatures.
creatures. Cast.
Yeah, I mean, our opponent doesn't know we have 3 creatures in hand, though.
Cast. Cast.
And activate Steel Overseer.
Well, we can actually activate it later.
We can activate it now before we can do Electrolytes that puts us in an odd position.
That's a good point. But actually, him casting Electrolyze and us activating it's way better.
No. Us activating in response to our activation, electrolyzing is the problem.
That's a good point.
All right. Playing 4 creatures win us the game.
Play creatures, win game. All right, I do like the Thoughtseize, or Thoughtcast. I mean, so it really shined in that matchup. Though we could have probably won without it. This is 1 card away from being keepable. If we had another 0-cost card, this would be a great hand.
It's not there.
Mox Opal. Oh well, I definitely saw that several times.
Another mulligan.
That's unfortunate right there.
Yeah. Sometimes you're just going to mulligan into Oblivion with synergy-based decks and lose.
It happened.
Now, the good news is, I don't think it's a very strong chance. You got to keep it.
Could be worse.
Could be worse. Yeah. The other decent part is just the power of the deck. Sometimes a couple of good top decks can make a difference. It's just you don't really have that information to know if this hand's going to pewter it out or not. Sometimes you can have... One of the things I like best about this deck is if you can win on just 6 or 7 cards frequently. You could draw all dead cards. Your opponent can play cards that you don't draw any more cards the rest of the game, and you have a very strong potential to still win off just the 7 cards in your hand. So...
let's dress up good this turn.
Yeah, Luth, it's... we're not good at the sarcasm or reading it over the internet.
I understood that.
Brad's better
I
than me.
agreed. I played along even. All these cards are bad.
I think I would have played the... Alright, do we want to get the poison route?
Yes, always. I mean, we have nothing else to do. But, in addition to having nothing else to do, when you have this crappy a hand, you go the poison route. Take 1 poison. Enjoy it. Winning.
When I play Modern Burn, the fetch lands are important specifically just for not just the mana fixing, but for a couple of landfall activation cards. But not being able to fetch only matters for those.
Odd combination of cards.
They're playing Black-White Spirits.
They might be playing any number of things still.
Black-White Spirits usually has more
usually nothing plays Fetid Heath except Black-White Spirits. So,
or maybe a Soul Sister variant, but they would have already played something.
That would have been weird, yeah. I like playing the Ingot, or Citadel, I mean, because Citadel is indestructible. And that sets us up for playing the Glimmer Void.
Dark Steel Overseer, activate Inkmoth Nexus off of Springleaf Drum, attack.
Yep, that's pretty true.
I think the interesting thing is I don't think we play Etch Champion next turn. I think we activate Inkmoth Nexus, Steel Overseer, attack.
No, we might be able to do both. I'm not sure. Whee! I feel like people are really slow with the client, which I understand because I was very slow with the client until after playing so many matches myself. Huh! Yeah, they might be playing Soul Sisters. I'm not sure what deck plays that card.
Black-White Spirits plays that.
Alright, well.
That's 2 for 1.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, next turn we play Etch Champion. Yeah, Black-White Spirits is the only deck that I think plays Zealous Persecution. It's really good in their deck because they can have up to, like, they'll play, Oh, he's playing some sort of weird Monastery Mentor deck. He's playing, like, either, Esper or Mardu control variant, probably. Etch Champion, Vault Scourge.
Vault Scourge is champion, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter either way.
It does actually matter.
Because of the Metalcraft, but he doesn't have any spells.
He has a creature.
Oh, because then we can block it. Oh god, yeah, you're right. Jesus.
I have played this deck a lot.
I didn't even think about blocking.
What? blocking with Etched Champion is only less satisfying than attacking with it. Still quite satisfying.
Yeah, I mean, every bit of life matters, and
And then there was a red fetch land.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't mean anything except that he needed it to fill out the fetch land count.
well, there is a modern or a Mardu Monastery Mentor deck. It runs Monastery Mentor and what's the guy that makes 1/1s? The 2/1 that makes 1/1s.
The 2/1 that makes 1/1.
Played in Legacy, then Vintage.
Oh, you mean Pyromancer? Young Pyromancer.
Yeah, Young Pyromancer Monastery Mentor deck, and uses black for things like Thoughtseize and
That's
Zealous
weird.
Vision.
If you're gonna play those two things, oh my goodness, do I have to click through the triggers? Does he have to click through
He
the
clicks those,
triggers?
he sets them. Okay, well, this is interesting, but in a bad way.
This does feel like a tokens deck to me.
It is a tokens deck. I knew that from the Zealous Persecution. That card's only really good when you get use it as a possible board
Hey,
sweep.
look what's still not happening. He's still not doing damage to us.
That's true. And we'll probably keep that champion back for a long time.
Unless we draw another one. We did. Well, there's no point in playing that, so I'm going to leave it in my hand so he thinks we have something important. And I'm going to attack for one flying.
Yeah, never mind. It doesn't keep up Metalcraft any better because we have Springleaf Drum. You should have attacked for 2 flying with the Blink Moth Nexus.
You're correct. Oh, can we actually respond? No, we can't respond. Two flying with a Blink Moth Nexus? That would have been way better.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're in a position
This is
where...
going to be slow.
Well, we're going to lose if it's slow. If he casts 1 or 2 spells every turn, we're going to quickly get overrun.
Yep, we drew a bunch of lands this turn. It was sad.
Yeah. Something like a Steel Overseer can help.
We drawn 4 lands. That's pretty uncommon. Yeah, and raise the alarm. Good.
It's a lot of 2/2s. Alright, well, let's block us a 3/3. No, a 4/4. Whew. Yeah, we're gonna die a tokeny death. If I was running his deck, whether it was black-white or with Mardu for the other thing, I think I would be running Young Pyromancer, even if that was one of the only red cards, if it's just Young Pyromancer and Lightning Bolts. Just with the amount of stuff you're running, gives you 8 really must-kill threats. But you can run like 2 or 3 Thoughtseize main board and an Inquisition, and you can run a lot more on the board.
How neat.
Yeah, he's just the big token stack. If only we had an Infest, it'd go a long way. Brad, I think we're going to be dead in a turn.
Yeah, it's going to be great. That's pretty cool.
I think that this deck isn't necessarily very bad either with the amount of discard options it has for combo decks. Traditionally, decks like this are very weak against combo, but when you can have black in for cards like Thoughtseize and Inquisition of Kozilek, you don't have to be weak to that. Lutherus, I mean, we've seen the Esper and Mardu versions of this. I think I prefer the Mardu version because it has more pressure with the 4 Monastery Mentors or 3 Monastery Mentors and 4 Young Pyromancers.
By my calculations, we are dead.
Yeah, let's go ahead and concede.
I would actually let him kill me if this were a real matchup.
Yeah, we
But-
probably should have, but let's go ahead and go to the next match.
So I know it's going to be good against him. A whip player.
I would pull in no wear and tears, I don't know. Master of
Souls are
Ethereum
meh.
and Etched Champion are decent. We probably can't race out.
Thoughtseize good against him.
No, because the only one
No.
he probably has a lot of the creatures we want to kill.
Spellscott's probably not good. Relic's probably not good. Etched Champion's probably fine.
I would cut Welding Jar, a Memnite,
Welding Jar.
a Memnite. I don't know if Ensoul's bad. I didn't see any removal.
Well, I mean, we probably won't wear and tear in the deck, so.
For what? He only played one enchantment. We don't know how many Glorious Anthems he's running. He might only be running one.
You're right. But it represents a whole lot of damage if he keeps it.
I'd rather just be on the aggressive plan. We can't outslow. If he's ahead, we're dead. I think we cut a Galvanic Blast.
Well, if we don't want the game to go long, we might as well cut Thoughtseize. If he has no removal, Thoughtseize loses a lot of value.
Alright, yeah. Let's pull in a Massive Ethereum and drop a Memnite. Or a Galvanic Blast.
No, I think Galvanic Blast is really good against him.
Alright, well, let's leave it like that then.
So, because Galvanic Blast can take out his key token makers. Would you like to play first? I would. Oh, would I like to draw lands? I also would. This is so close to keepable. How sad once again. Look at that. 2 Mox Opals. So close.
No, that's keepable.
This is junk, but it's keepable. So we play the Citadel to have the Battlecraft.
Yeah.
And then we don't have the...
Wait, cancel. We just pay 2 for it and not lose 2 life.
Yeah, he has no 1-turn drop that matter.
Diagos, even if we were on the play, the thing I don't like about the enchantment hate is he has... We don't know how many Honor of the Pures he's running, and we don't know... It isn't the card that wins him the game. I'm
A Hideaway land?
there, why not? It's a free
How
card.
cute.
Yeah.
Which one was this one? Is this the one where...
3 or more creatures attack.
3 or more creatures attack? Okay. I like it.
If we can get any pressuring card, I think we can actually do pretty well. If you can Galvanic Blast his first big card, we might be in okay position.
A Cranial Plating right now would be basically the best thing we could draw.
By far. Ravager wouldn't be terrible.
Yep. Ravager wouldn't be terrible, but Cranial Plating would be the deal.
It would set us far ahead.
Face down card. It actually says that.
It looks like an artifact named Face Down card.
Yep.
See if Brad's a soothsayer.
Come on. That's how you win matches. Draw the Cranial Plating exactly when you can play it and equip it.
See if he's really in the Sultai clan. Yes!
Oh
Oh! Brad is the evilest of demons.
It's such a beating. Look at it. Look at it beat him. Thinking red mana. It really feels good right now. Well, I don't feel bad about this. Not in the least.
Now, I will go ahead and say, if our opponent plays a removal spell and it gets their creature out and has a follow-up, they can stabilize and win. The thing about it is they have a very strong board position that stabilizes them while they get ahead. But we have 2 flying threats and a Cranial Plating, so they're going to need them quickly. And but our life buffer, being at 26 life, means a lot less, right? If we played it against a Zoo deck, the 26 life would mean a lot. But against his deck, I mean, how much damage did he represent? Those are the turns like...
He didn't do too much until turn 3 last time, so...
Yeah.
Who knows?
But he represented... When he got his damage, it wasn't pecking. It was 10 or 12 chunks. We would be dead in 2 or 3 hits, regardless of...
Flying seems to matter a lot in this matchup, which is a good thing we decided out one of the Memnots.
Awesome, let's go ahead and drop our Master of Ethereum.
Master of Ethereum. Well, why don't I?
The thing I like about this is it forces our opponent to, if he has a Zealous Persecution, activate it now. Which means we still... Well, we don't get any damage in, actually, because of Ornithopter having -1 toughness.
He does have a Zealous Persecution.
If we had more mana, it would have been a great play. I guess we could have swung with it, but I think he's still at the point of that much damage would have just used it in response.
Yeah, we might as well go all in on...
It doesn't change the clock, so it might not have been the right answer. But he might have lifelink or blockers. Alright, so next turn we'll be equipping the Ornithopter and swinging for lots and lots of damage and having a Galvanic Blast up. Our opponent needs cards they haven't shown us to win the game. Now, they could easily have black removal. No,
They don't have them.
they don't have removal. That's what that means, is they don't have removal. They're just not running any.
All right. Well, the Master was very good. However, I don't know if we want another one. Maybe we want to push out an Etched Champion and push in a Master.
Sure.
We'll try it this way. It probably won't get drawn, so it won't matter, but whatever. I think Galvanic Blast is still good. I think Ensoul's still good. Whip Flare is going to end him if we get it. This is a unique matchup. Also, this is the first time we haven't had to mull. It's not a great hand, but it's keepable.
Well, you know, being that Zealous Persecution seems to be the only thing that he's
Another high
really
value.
pushing through. I mean, if he has access to paths, he should be running them. The other interesting thing is the only expensive card I saw him play the entire game was Monastery Mentor. Everything else
that
was
was
just...
only 3-drop, I believe.
Now, if he puts the money into the deck, I like a black-white tokens deck. Having 6 to 7 discard outlets means that you can play decently against the...
Probably play the Inkmoth first. And the Bimnot.
And the Springleaf Drum and the Vault Scourge.
And the Springleaf Drum. And the Vault Scourge.
Having access to black-white opens up good sideboard options, especially in the white aspect. You know, having the ability to make them discard covers your combo matches, and his creatures are probably usually better than most creature decks. You still, you know...
I'd be surprised if he tapped out here. Oh. Yep. Thought he was going to not play a land there for a second.
Well, he doesn't have a Zealous
Doesn't
Persecution.
have black-white.
This is a bad hand for him.
Honor the Pure.
Alright, Darksteel Citadel and
Equip
equip the Vault Scourge.
I actually like the Ravager because
He
I
has.
don't want him to Zealous Persecution me again.
He would have played the Swamp if he had the Zealous Persecution, I think.
He might have one or the other and be waiting to draw the other. So you don't think it's worth playing around?
No, I would just go for the Cranial Plating. We have an
Okay.
Inkmoth Nexus, and the amount of damage it represents. How much is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? It puts him on a very short clock. Yeah, it has him on a 3-turn clock, likely. He has to go down 2 life to even play. He doesn't probably have a Swamp naturally. So it's put him on a quick clock, and next turn we're going to play a Darksteel Citadel and an Arcbound Ravager. If he plays a Swamp and a Zealous Persecution, it's rough, but they have to have specifically those cards. And he only has 4 of them. Could be it again. No, it's double white.
Mentor.
Darksteel Citadel. Can we kill him this turn?
Probably not.
If he doesn't blah. No, we can't anyway.
So it's 7. We can put him at all but death. with
No, let's
poison.
attack with the Memnite too. If he was willing to block the Memnite, we can trade a Springleaf Drum and Arcbound Ravager and an Inkmoth Nexus to kill his Monastery Mentor and put him at dead the next turn. It's a free damage, and our opponent might not think about the fact that it's a free damage when you hit okay.
No, so that's a lot less damage we would do to his face, though.
Doesn't matter if he doesn't have a Monastery.
Not to
Mentor.
mention we don't protect the Vault Scourge from the -1/-1, and it's a flyer, so that's more important, I think.
The he can't play anything. He's tapped out.
Yeah, he gets to untap before we kill him. This way we can't die.
He can't kill us. We're at 24.
His creature doesn't matter, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, you're just gonna try to hit with
His,
the Vault
his
Scourge.
creature does not matter.
If he plays the -1/-1, then you just sacrifice the Arcbound Ravager to make Vault Scourge a 2/2.
Yeah, we'll make Vault Scourge bigger than that. We'll take the Springleaf Drum too because we don't care about it. I mean, we might as well eat all the unimportant artifacts. We can put it at 9 by activating this, but I don't see a reason to. So just not F6,
F3.
F3.
F2. Well.
F7. Really,
All of
really,
the F
really-
buttons do something, apparently.
What? What's that one do?
I don't know. Some of them do weird things with triggers. And
Does
stuff.
one of them make me play better?
Some are like auto yield and less given options and stuff, but it doesn't always work right with like Phyrexian mana and stuff. There's all sorts of weird little bugs. But I mean, Magic's a complex game. I can understand that they won't have it perfectly.
Ah, they didn't have it. Well, Daniel, I'm gonna let you try the next one.
I think I'm gonna go eat some burritos. I heard I have burritos en route to my house. Let's talk a little bit about
Okay.
what's going on this weekend, and then we'll
Going
be playing.
to the Modern GP in Charlotte? Yeah, in Charlotte. Not driving, probably.
What deck are you taking?
I'm taking Affinity. It's very similar to this Affinity list. I've not exactly decided if I like the Thoughtcasting and Souls yet, but I do like 2 more Ornithopters versus 1 or 2 more Midnights. Not sure about the Welding Jar. It's hard to tell because we never draw it. In order to really test if I like the Welding Jar, I'd have to play 4 of them for a long time. And then I imagine I'd end up hating it because it doesn't really do much.
So the way that I would test a single Welding Jar to see if I liked it is I'd have my opponent play their normal deck, and I would draw 6 cards and a Welding Jar. A Welding Jar would always be in my opening hand. In
So
all
that's a
3 of
great
the
way to do
games.
it in paper.
And you just try it with a Welding Jar each time, and that'll give you the information, because you'll never draw another Welding Jar. This is how do you like. Now, this is false information in some ways because you always draw the Welding Jar. So the other scenario you can set up, if you can have the mental discipline, is put the Welding Jar somewhere in the top 6 or 5 card, or 6 to 4 cards. So you draw a Welding Jar
After
when
you
support.
draw your...
Yeah, and you can have a friend kind of set up so you don't know when, but you have to have the mental discipline to think about not drawing a Welding Jar. So it's a little tougher there. And then this is a bad exercise if you don't follow through with understanding what it means. You won't always have the Welding Jar. Welding Jar could be a card like Midnight. How excited are you to have Midnight in your opening hand? Very. How excited are you to draw Midnight later? It's okay. Right? And if Welding Jar operates in that same way, and it very well may because it costs 0, because it acts as early game protection, right? A hand with a Welding Jar operates as possibly Metalcraft. It's a Metalcraft count and protected for a creature that can die. So like you could have an opening hand with a steel, with 2 0-cost creatures and a Steel Overseer and a Welding Jar and feel very safe. That'd be a great hand.
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yep, so I'm not sure if I want 1 or not. I think I do want 3 Steel Overseers, though. So I'm not sure what gets the cut for the Overseers.
Well, round 1. The cards that I would think are first cut list are Welding Jar, Ensoul Artifacts, possibly an Etch Champion if you want to go 3 total 3 drops, and possibly a Thoughtcast.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to look at some other people's lists and try to make that determination. Probably won't get to actually play it before I go to the big tournament because I don't think I have the cards online or have a friend that has them. So it'll probably end up being something very similar to that. And then as far as the actual sideboard, it's that blue box right there. What have I actually got in my sideboard in paper? So I've currently got 2 Blood Moons. They're pretty useless. I'm thinking to just cut them completely. Every matchup I had one in, it slowed them down but did not stop them. They would always crypt it back to my hand. Any deck that dies to Blood Moon or can't pull off its combo to Blood Moon will crypt it back to your hand. And Jund and stuff, most of their removal is partially red anyway, so if they're good enough to play around Blood Moon, you're not going to get them. I had 3 Thoughtseize. I might go down to 2, not sure yet. Let's see. Currently I've got 1 Master in the sideboard, just as we do online. I've got a Rest in Peace and a Torpor Orb instead of the 2. Let's see, I'll scroll over here. Instead of the 2 relics, I've got 2 Dragon's Claws. They were both necessary, though I never drew them in the tournament. There was a lot of red floating around. Drawing them would have at least won me 1 more match. 2 Whip Flares, I think that's correct. 1 Aether Sworn Canonist helps with the combo matchups. Doesn't necessarily do anything but eat a removal spell a lot of times, but it'll at least slow them down. And then I've got 2 wear and tears. So I think one of the Thoughtseize could be what's the one that destroys an artifact? Ancient Grudge, and then flashes back to destroy another one. Not sure if that's better or not because I haven't tried it. And we don't have one aligned to try it, so.
Yeah.
But in the Affinity versus Affinity matchup, he who has the best hand wins, but an Ancient Grudge will take care of their power artifacts, which is basically...
You have the wear and tears as well. You can run your 2...
I don't know what I just did to rearrange this.
I don't know. You somehow cut the lands off. The lands are still there, they're just hidden. Oh, you scroll to the side.
Oh, okay. So, basically you just want to cut them off cranial plating if you're playing against the mirror match.
So you just pull into 2 wear and tears. If you want more hate than that, then you play 1 or 2 Ancient Grudges, and you decide what are the matches you like an Ancient Grudge, and the answer is, I think, just Tron.
Tron or
I think Tron would just
maybe
race.
some of the combo decks, but
I think you just race all of them. I think you just don't bring it. You don't dilute your deck because they're not going to
Yeah.
usually race.
But against Affinity, you definitely want the artifact.
And a lot of that comes back down to the fact that let's say we had this one against the mirror. The welding jar is okay, but not great.
No, I do want it against Jund, and there was a lot of Jund. So
yeah, the welding jar.
yeah, it's.
Okay.
I think it'd be good against Jund, and there was a lot of Jund. I expect there to be even more Jund actually in the next tournament.
The Jund Affinity matchup. If Jund has removal, Affinity probably loses.
Unless Affinity has the crazy.
Yeah. Ignoring Affinity's best hand.
And Affinity's best hand is almost unbeatable in any deck.
Affinity's best hand against Jund is the hand where they play out most of their hand or all of their hand turn 1, and they have like a Steel Overseer and possibly a Welding Jar. So now you have a Bolt, but you can't win through it. And
basically,
now they're
if you
have 3 or
can
4
get a 2
threats.
drop your first turn, you're probably winning. Ravager or Overseer both have to be answered immediately. So the Ravager just allows you to sack anything they do kill to points on the Ravager. The Overseer has to die immediately, or all your stuff is too big for them. So,
but the Jund deck, if it has, assuming both decks have decent draws, the Jund deck has a better late game and has enough removal to really put roadblocks in. The Jund player needs to be good. You can't afford to make bad plays against this deck, but I think Jund overall is probably the favored deck to Affinity, although I don't think it's great enough for it to call it a terrible matchup. It's probably more of an even matchup with a slight favor towards Jund, depending on the amount of removal they're packing.
Now, Grixis Delve, I almost always lost to.
It's weird. I won a bunch of matches. I found that when I played it, if you could resolve an Edge Champion, you would win.
A lot of the times, I've resolved the Edge Champions against either deck, and they'll kill enough artifacts that they kill the Edge Champion. Which is kind of crazy, but they run that much artifact hate. Seems everyone runs that much artifact hate.
Weird.
I've also thought about playing a couple counter spells on the sideboard, because if I can counter the one crucial destroy all your artifacts spell,
so you run a Spell Pierce.
Spell Pierce, or the one that has Ferocious.
You know, wait,
are
those all instants? Or are they sorceries? The artifact spells? Because you can play the spell if they're all instant.
all sorceries.
Well, Ancient Grudge is an instant.
Ancient Grudge is an instant. They do usually play that one.
If they're all sorceries, you can play something like Envelop that counters target sorcery spell. For one.
Probably be better off playing one of the more generic answers.
Probably Spell Pierce is probably just better.
Spell Pierce or the one that's, if you have Ferocious, is uncounterable.
Alright guys, we're signing off. We'll be back on, is it Monday?
Probably Monday, yes.
Alright, Monday for either another draft or more modern practice and hearing Brad's deck report and how our friends did.
Yep.
And
yeah, I'm sure we'll be burnt out of playing Magic by then, so. Daniel will probably be running it, and I'll be commentating.
I'll be playing it.
You know, because I'm so good at talking constantly.
I might drag Brad through a Dragons of Tarkir draft when he's just too tired.